Hello, everybody. This is Tara here for Tara's blog, and today I want to talk about my daughter Mackenzie. She is 16 months old. She is my youngest. She is my little firecracker. I just absolutely love her to death. The reason why I want to do a blog about her is I've recently had concerns over her development. I don't know if anyone who's gonna watch this video, if you've seen my other blog videos, but my other videos are basically to do with my son Tristan, who does have autism and a mental delayment and a moderate to severe learning disability. And it's just talking about how it's hard and how it's hard for him, and just the different experiences for people to watch and maybe help them if they're going through the same thing. So that's what my videos are about, but this video is about Mackenzie. Now, I was told by a doctor that if you've got one child with autism, that you do have a greater chance of having another child with autism. So when I found out I was pregnant, it's always something that was sort of like fearful in the back of my mind. And then when Mackenzie was born, I was always very cautious of watching her developments and her milestones that she's supposed to reach. And maybe in the beginning I was a wee bit too cautious, but there's always a good reason for it. When she was about a year old is when I definitely began to be very concerned over her with the possibility of having autism. Like, because I'm not a doctor, so obviously I can't diagnose. It's just if she's like my son, she has a lot of symptoms and behaviors that are just like Tristan, when he was that age. And they're the two main ones that sort of can indicate autism is not responding to your name. She doesn't respond to her name. She never has. She still doesn't do it. Tristan never did that also, because that's like a social thing. That's why children with autism do not respond to their name. And also, she doesn't point to objects that she wants. And she should have been doing this about a year old. She doesn't clap her hands. She doesn't imitate play. She doesn't try to speak verbally or even communicate non-verbally. Mackenzie lives in her own world. Tristan was exactly the same way. She doesn't know how to play toys. I try and sit with her and I try to play, blocks, or putting little pieces in, like square, circle, triangle, and um, have the little piggy coin, trying to put the coins in the slots, things that most little children have in their homes. She doesn't like to do any of those. Her favorite way of playing is she likes to hold an object and she will just walk around the living room, and sometimes she'll take the object and sort of trace it over the couch, just sort of brush it against the couch and walk around and brush it against the table or against the wall. That's her way of playing, and Tristan was the same way. She doesn't at all try to communicate, or she doesn't want to be hugged by me. She doesn't want to be cuddled. She just likes to be left alone. So these are things that I experienced with Tristan. So at her year review, I spoke to her health visitor and I says, listen, I want you to look at her because I am concerned. She sat with her about 15 minutes and she says, I can see why you're concerned, so I'm going to refer her to speech and language. She's seen speech and language last month. So we were there for an hour, and you just sort of sit off, you leave the speech and language, just play with your child, and she played with her for about an hour, or tried to, I should say. And after she was done, she sat up and she did say, I understand why you're concerned, because I share those concerns also with your daughter. So Mackenzie has been placed on the list for the Child Development Clinic. That's how it starts. And then they would look at your child, and then they will see, is it autism? Is it ADHD? Or is it learning disability or mental delayment? With Tristan, first, when he went to Child Development Clinic, you have to be 2.5 years old. He was first diagnosed with the moderate to severe learning disability and the mental delayment, and then they said, we think he has autism, but you have to go to a different clinic, to be diagnosed with autism. So you have to go on a separate list, but they would more or less know if there's autism there. So that's where we are. I mean, it's only better in regards to I know what I'm dealing with. I know what I'm doing with Tristan. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what needed to happen. So, there we are. It is a bit disheartening. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, because that's what my blogs are about. It is very disheartening to think that I might have another child with autism, and I don't mean that against Mackenzie, because I love my son and I love my daughter. I love all my children, but it's hard for them. It's hard for what they have to go through. I see what my son has to go through, but I believe it would be harder for Mackenzie because when I had Tristan, I only had one child with autism, so I could focus all my time and energy on Tristan and what Tristan needed. But if it turns out that she has autism, I still have Tristan, who still needs group therapy and needs behavioral therapy and needs the 24/7 attention. And then now I'll have another child with autism. I don't know how I'm going to be able to divide my time into what she needs and what Tristan needs. Yeah, it is very disheartening because it's hard work. It's hard. And then I feel bad because I'm not even the one that has the autism. So if it's hard for me, I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like for Tristan or maybe for Mackenzie. So I'm sort of struggling with how I'm going to be able to help both of them if she has that. So there you go. That's my blog. Signing up. Bye.